Background: I, 35, am married to my husband, 37, of 6 years, and a working mother, nurse of 3 kids. We were at my in-laws' house for family dinner, and every family member could make it. We were at the dinner table when my brother-in-law started talking about his girlfriend's newfound hobby, which is dancing, and said she's been dancing for him every night after she gets back from her Zumba classes. The men in the family clearly got interested, and they kept talking about it in detail, while myself and the other women were rolling our eyes. My husband suddenly threw his fork and looked at me and said, "Hey, Jess, why can't you dance for me when you come home every night, like brother-in-law's girlfriend does?" I was blown away by his question and thought he was joking, but no, I looked around and saw everyone staring at me, with my cousin-in-law sarcastically singing the Dance Monkey song. I flipped out and I said, "I don't know. Maybe because after I get home, I cook, then start my cleaning routine, then feed the kids dinner, then do the dishes, then get our 8-month-old to sleep, then clean the messy bathroom and bedroom, and then suddenly fall asleep the minute I get in bed from being exhausted from working on my feet all day, then coming back to a messy home and demanding kids and a husband. God, what a terrible wife I must be, not to find time to dance." He froze in place, and the entire table got quiet. Then my sister-in-law's jerk cop husband, who hates my husband's guts, started laughing and said, "Good God, guess chicken's coming home to roost, huh?" My husband's face was so pale that he just told everyone that he needed a minute outside after noticing how awkward things got. He got up and walked out, and I followed him, and he flipped out at me, saying great job making Thanksgiving awkward and embarrassing him in front of his family like that. An argument ensued, and he said he wanted to leave after I caused him to be in an awkward position in front of the family. We got home and he shut down completely. So I stayed with the kids and couldn't sleep, even after I called my mother-in-law, his stepmom, saying good on me for calling him out as he stepped out of line. Still, she could be biased because she hates his guts too. And I just felt guilty when I think about what happened, thinking I mishandled the situation and ruined Thanksgiving for everyone. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Your husband's poor joke led to a response he didn't like, and now he's butthurt. Have you considered why your husband's family doesn't like him? Why does his mother think he's a tool? Why did you find his comments so offensive and just off the charts? Is it possible that your husband needs to pick up his game and become a better human being? He sounds selfish with no compassion or empathy for others. He was embarrassed he was put on the spot for making OP do everything in the household, and then his response was to leave and give her the silent treatment and still not help with putting any of the kids to bed. So if he's embarrassed, it's because he doesn't want it pointed out how shitty of a husband he is, yet he doesn't want it to change. OP, but really, you do dance. It's just a dance around your husband as you cook, clean, and be a parent. If he were your dance partner, he would join in. There seem to be many family members who hate your husband's guts. What has he done to earn such common dislike? Maybe they have a point. Also, what did he expect you to say when he asked his ridiculous question? Was he blindsided by the fact that there are more things in your life than pandering to his momentary whims? Did he forget you have children? There was no part of this situation that he did not create, so he has no right to be cross at you for responding honestly to a public challenge. Do you hate his guts as well? You are not the idiot. Your husband isn't pulling his weight in your relationship. If you're working full-time and then doing all the housework, from the context, it kind of sounds like your husband is less than a partner and more of the extra child. Why do you stay with someone who obviously has very little respect for you? I hardly doubt this is the first time he's treated you like this. Now he's gaslighting you to make you feel bad for asking such an absurd question, and you're defending yourself. Why stay with someone who treats you poorly? You have a deeper problem in your relationship that was just exposed to his family. So I, female 24, had a birthday today, and my whole family went to celebrate. My partner, male 28, planned the whole thing and didn't want me to know. He wanted it to be a surprise. I have never liked surprises. I think he knows as much. My father also planned some of it, so he wasn't in the dark about it. Anyway, so the day starts by driving 2 hours to go ice skating. Also a surprise, but one I was receptive to. I love ice skating. We then went to dinner, which I was unaware of where we were going to. We got there and I quickly realized that this was a very expensive restaurant and something I wasn't comfortable with. I hate spending money and people spending money on me. My father asked what I was going to order. I said nothing. Instant looks for my family, already knowing what's up. I typically don't like to eat, so this isn't a shocker. They think I'm almost joking though, so nothing happens. The time to order comes around and I order nothing. My mother asks if I'd rather leave. Drinks have been placed and everyone is ordered. I refuse since we had already placed orders. We stay. I think they believed I would be eating off their plates. I didn't. The dinner lasted nearly 3 hours and I didn't eat a thing. Not even the dessert they brought out for me since it was my birthday. I was invested in not eating, which might make me an idiot. The dinner cost $900, which is far too much for that. I hated it. I hate money being spent like that. Now they know I hate spending money on food and money spent on me. Just this July, we went out to a pricey place, not nearly as much as that, and I didn't order anything. We then talked about it and how it makes me uncomfortable spending that much money on food. We had also gone to an amusement park that summer, and I didn't eat anything I didn't purchase. The food is far too expensive, and if my family chips in to buy me food, I feel gross about it. They know this much about me. They should after 24 years. My father and husband have expressed how they wanted to go to this particular restaurant in the past. I said I didn't find the need to and didn't care about it that much. That was months ago. I felt like my birthday was completely ruined. I can tell my husband is upset that I didn't eat, and I think he'll place the blame on me. And I don't want to make my father sad, so it's a tough situation. Am I the idiot for refusing to eat a meal that would have cost over $1,000 if I had ordered food? Editing to add, we live with my parents. We just had a baby who was less than a year old. We have talked about moving out, and I'd love to, but we can't afford it. I think it's ridiculous that he spent this much on a meal when we need to save up. You are the idiot. It isn't your money. How it is spent is not your concern. Causing unnecessary drama by sitting there refusing to eat is just nonsense. You ruined your birthday on purpose. This is something a toddler does. OP, if you have that many problems with spending your own money on you or others spending money on you, you desperately need serious therapy. There's so much for a therapist to unpack there. You really are an idiot aficionado. But because you sound like OP's husband or father, it's her birthday. They knew she didn't want to go to that restaurant, and yet they took her there for her birthday? There is no way she's the idiot in this situation of selfish men using her birthday as an excuse to eat at said restaurant. Save it for something else. Instead, they should have chosen to do something in line with what OP would choose. Not the idiot. Beyond the fact that you don't like spending money like that, you already told both your father and spouse you didn't want to go to that particular place. So why would they want you to go on your birthday? Why wouldn't they choose someplace that you would like and enjoy? Even if it's takeout and the couch, you don't like that type of food. They wanted to take you out to a place they wanted to go, then got upset that you didn't pretend to be happy about going somewhere they knew you wouldn't like. My husband, 30, and I, 32, keep our finances separate, and we do not share anything until and unless there's an agreement. He wants it this way, and I'm okay with that, although he can be strict with what's his and mine. Anyways, 2 days ago, he brought home a raw steak cut and asked me to take the time off work. I work from home, to cook it for him, and I said okay since he was a bit sick and exhausted. I prepared the steak, added all ingredients together, put it inside the oven, stopped by the bedroom where he was lying in bed playing on his phone, and told him I had to go back to work. The steak was in the oven, and he needed to turn it off in exactly 10 minutes so it wouldn't get overcooked, since he hates it overcooked. 40 minutes go by, and my husband rushes in, freaking out, telling me he just checked on the steak and it was completely burnt. I asked why he didn't turn off the oven 10 minutes after I notified him, and he said to me that he was busy harvesting the strawberries in the game he was playing. I shrug and tell him that it's on him for being on his phone distracted and letting the meat burn. He says to me, well, it's your fault because when you start something, you finish it, and you were supposed to finish cooking the steak. I forcefully reminded him I agreed to take valuable time off work to cook for him when I didn't have to and when he was playing on his phone. He should be grateful but gets more upset and says that I need to pay for the steak since he bought it from the butcher's, so it's high quality, and that I should think of it as I took money from his salary and burned it, not to mention that he gets no dinner. Therefore, I owe him. I lashed out at him, telling him no and to get out of my office so I could finish my work since my time is valuable, as well as his precious steak, and he was wasting it. He keeps insisting I pay for the steak, and even said I was wrong for refusing to take responsibility and correct my mistake, and just pay because he wants to buy another cut of steak, but does not plan on using his money again, because why should he? He wasn't the one who cooked and let the steak burn. Am I the idiot? Edit. To explain that separate finances are his idea, and the reason is that he was married to a woman outside of the USA, and she took all of his money and belongings once they got separated, in an illegal way, of course. Thus, he now feels uncomfortable sharing finances with another partner, which is okay with me, since I have many married friends with separate finances who live happily. Not the idiot. Tell him to eat the freaking strawberries he was busy harvesting. Honestly, it seems like you should go for a walk by yourself and take a step back to reevaluate what other red flags you have ignored. And if this way of life is worth it, don't plan on potential. Plan based on what's already there. Oh my, he was playing a video game and asked you to take time out of your workday to cook. And LOL at the finances thing while married. He brought it on himself. You are not the idiot. Do you need a good divorce attorney's number? I only ask because it sounds like the husband has gone bad and needs to be replaced. What I meant by agreement is that we do not touch each other's stuff, whether it be money or belongings, without letting each other know first. He tells me this way, we learn to respect each other's boundaries more, but I'm happy to share, not just with my husband, but with everyone. That is my nature, but at the same time, I respect his boundaries. Jesus Christ, when you divorce this strawberry harvester, ungrateful for your efforts, and time-challenged aficionado of fine beef products, you must get the best lawyer you can afford because he will try so hard to nickel and dime you. Make him sorry. You are not the idiot, and I'm sorry you are unappreciated. Go out and buy yourself a personal-sized fine steak and make it for yourself, and don't share. My boyfriend, 36, and I, female 32, have been together for 9 years. I know it's a long time, but he doesn't want marriage, saying it's meaningless, and the same as getting your driver's license where we live nowadays, and that it's lost its true meaning. Anyways, we decided to get a dog 3 years ago. Since we don't share finances, then we agreed to pay 50-50 for everything our dog needed. He said okay, and things remained that way till recently, when our dog fell sick. I found myself paying the vet bill alone for 4 months. I asked my boyfriend to help out and pay 50% of the expenses, but he kept making excuses to pay for things that weren't necessary. Our dog unfortunately passed away, which was devastating. My boyfriend cried and went radio silent for 1 day, then went back to normal. But my grief was just starting. I was mad that he didn't help me with treatment, but I still asked if he agreed to get our dog cremated, and he said yes and go for it. I asked him to pay half, telling him how much it cost, and he looked at me stunned and said, I'm not the one getting cremated. Why should I be expected to pay for it? I said, because it's our dog. He said he no longer is since he's dead, which got me angry. I said I'd go with burial then, but he objected and said I shouldn't back out just to spite him and insisted I go ahead and do the right thing for our beloved dog. I said all right then, and ended up paying for only half of the bill, then later sent him half of the bill through the vet, and he was so mad when he saw it. He said he couldn't believe how stubborn I was to pull that stunt, because legally he has to pay now. We argued, and he said I should have just paid for the entire thing, instead of acting petty to prove a point. He accused me of not loving our dog enough to handle the bill. Am I the idiot? Why are you with this person? Oh, P, you're not the idiot, and he 100% is. Plus, red flags galore in my opinion. Heck, when my cat of 20 years passed away, my boyfriend, who I'd only been with a year at that point, was so heartbroken and so saddened by my grief that he paid for everything. So I had one less thing to worry about. I'd reevaluate your relationship because, ouch! You got the dog together and agreed to split expenses. He agreed to the cremation. So you did the right thing by splitting the bill through the vet. And then he accuses you, the person who handled all the vet bills throughout your dog's sickness, of not loving it enough to foot his portion of the bill? That's incredibly manipulative. If I were you, I'd be reevaluating the entire relationship. I'm very sorry for your loss and for having to deal with this idiot. Being with a cheap and stingy man will not end well for you, OP. Not the idiot. Your partner is a walking red flag. He refuses to pay for half of your pet's death. After 9 years, he won't marry you, won't get a joint account with you. Now that the dog is gone, run. He's showing you his true colors through and through. What would he do or say if it was you hurt? I suspect he would act similarly. P.S. Dating someone for 9 years and guilt-tripping them into not marrying is gaslighting. You didn't say you didn't want to get married, and based on his comments, he's already convinced you it's dumb. We've been married for 3 months now, but we've dated since we were 15, and we're 23 now. To provide context, her mom is a lawyer, her dad is a doctor, so she's used to just always having money on hand, not worrying too much about prices, within reason, of course. We decided that she wouldn't work, that she'd handle the home stuff, and that I'd handle the other side. The problem is that she has a shopping problem, and the problem is costing me. In a single day, using the credit card I set up for her, she can blow $575 on shoes, $100 on getting her hair done, and then turn around and spend $300 on groceries for a week. When I was living alone, I paid at most $80 on groceries for a week. I talked to her several times since she started doing these extravagant sprees about how money just doesn't fall from the sky, about how maybe there's a way to find a happy medium, maybe $100 on groceries and $60 for hair, something like that. She was always agreeable, apologetic, but returned to the sprees. After this latest spree, $600 on dinner for her and her 2 friends being a piece of it, I decided my only option was to take the card, and I did. She's arguing that I'm not treating her well as my wife, and that we can work out this issue by talking. My point is, we've tried talking, it doesn't work. She, quote, hates me so much right now, and has said that since I've taken something back, she's going to take something back. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. This spoiled girl will bleed you dry. She has zero respect and comprehension of finances. So put your foot down now before it gets a lot worse. She's using your money, and if she wants an extraordinary life, then she should work too. Not the idiot. You two can't work on this issue by talking. You tried that. Although I don't think removing the credit card from her wallet is enough. Many websites store credit card information from previous orders, so all she'll have to do is log into her shoe store account and use the card she already has on file there, or even call the CC company to have them send replacement cards. She doesn't need her cards taken away. She needs help for her shopping addiction. Why does she need to stay home? You don't have children. There's absolutely no reason for her to stay home. She needs a job. What household does she need to manage? It's just you two. She needs to get a job and start working for what she's spending. If the decision that she's not going to work is firm, then the financial decisions fall to you. So you're entirely in the right by taking the card. Until something drastic happens, she's not going to change. She's an idiot financially.